There is a mountain in far North Queensland that has been swallowing people without a trace for over 150 years, and every search party sent in after them has come back empty-handed. There is a light in the outback that has been following travelers across the plains since the 1800s, and a crater in the Western Australian desert whose violent origin Aboriginal communities accurately described thousands of years before any scientist confirmed it. Scientists have investigated all three. None of them have a complete explanation. Black Mountain, Kalkajaka, sits in far North Queensland as an enormous, chaotic pile of granite boulders heaped against each other at every conceivable angle. The rock itself is not naturally black. What you are seeing from a distance is a biological crust, lichen, and algae that have slowly darkened the pale granite surface over centuries, giving the formation its name and its unsettling appearance. Up close, the rock underneath is the same unremarkable gray found in countless other formations. What is not unremarkable is the structure beneath your feet. The boulders are not fused together. They are simply stacked, balanced by gravity, creating a hidden labyrinth of narrow gaps, deep fissures, and voids that extend well below the visible surface. A person who slips into one of those gaps can fall much further than expected, into a chamber that cannot be seen, heard, or reached from above. Search and rescue teams with specialist caving equipment have, on multiple occasions, been physically unable to access certain voids at all. Removing surrounding boulders to reach someone risks destabilizing the entire formation. No trail, no barrier, no rescue infrastructure. The mountain is officially closed to climbers, and the terrain is the reason. The Kuku-Yalanji people, whose country this is, named it Kalkajaka, place of the spear. The name itself carries a warning. Harold Ludwig, a descendant with traditional ownership of the area, has described it as a sacred battlefield where many people died, their remains placed within the mountain itself. That knowledge was embedded in the landscape long before Philip Grainer vanished nearby in 1872, before two cattlemen went missing in 1882, one of whom returned, unable to give a coherent account of what happened, before prospector Q. Packer was found dead in 1928 under circumstances that were never fully resolved. The terrain explains the danger. It does not explain every disappearance. The second site has no physical structure to blame at all. Across the Channel Country of Western Queensland, travelers have been reporting a glowing light since the 1800s, one that appears in the distance, follows when you move toward it, and retreats when you get close. A university professor investigated the phenomenon and proposed that it could be explained by atmospheric refraction, light from distant sources bending through layers of air at different temperatures. It is a credible, partial answer, but the light has continued to be reported in conditions and locations the atmospheric model does not cleanly account for, and the behavior people describe, the following, the retreating, the apparent awareness of the observer, remains something no single explanation has fully closed. 2 sites, 2 partial answers, 0 complete ones. The Min light follows you when you move toward it and retreats when you get close. Does that sound like atmospheric refraction to you, or something that needs a different kind of explanation? Drop your answer in the comments below, because the third site makes both of these look straightforward. Candamalal sits in the Western Australian desert, roughly 150 kilometers south of Halls Creek. From the air, It is immediately recognizable. A near-perfect circle punched into the flat red landscape, its raised rim standing 35 meters above the surrounding plain. The crater measures close to 880 meters across. The object that made it, an iron meteorite estimated at around 15 meters wide and 14,000 tons, was traveling at approximately 17 kilometers per second when it hit. The force of that impact has been calculated at roughly 0.54 megatons of TNT. The desert preserved it so completely that it ranks as one of the best intact impact craters on Earth. Scientists first documented it in 1947 when an aerial survey spotted it from above. 2 months later, a ground team confirmed what it was. Western science had never formally recorded it before that moment. The Jaru people, whose country this is, had a different timeline. Their oral tradition describes an evening star that grew so hot it fell to the earth, a massive explosion, a flash of light, a dust cloud, a thunderous noise that rolled across the land. The people were frightened. A long time passed before they went near it. When they finally did, they understood what had happened. The star had come down there. That place became Candimalal, embedded in oral songs and stories, passed down through generations, long before any aerial survey ever flew over it. This is not metaphor that happens to rhyme with a geological event. It is a description of a cosmic impact, the flash, the explosion, the debris, the crater, that matches what the rock record confirms. A 2019 study revised the crater's age to approximately 120,000 years, placing the impact deep in the late Pleistocene. Whether the oral account stretches back that far, or whether Jaru ancestors discovered the crater and reconstructed its origin from the evidence around them, remains genuinely debated among researchers. Either answer is remarkable. Black Mountain's danger is partially understood, but not fully closed. The Min Min Light has a candidate theory that does not account for every reported case, and Candimalal has a confirmed scientific origin, but the fact that the people who have lived on this country the longest already held an accurate account of what happened there is itself something Western science is still working out how to measure. Australia keeps offering places where the gap between what we can date and what we can explain remains wide open. Subscribe for more of this and watch the next one. It goes even deeper.